Welcome back to our class. I think you guys we are ready for tomorrow's paper to see that distinctions are being obtained. It has been long without having a class with you guys, but I know that at least today let's try to see and find out what are some of the things which are most likely to come. So, we must see ourselves passing this paper because this paper is very easy. We have to pass it and excel with it. Remember, our principle is always the same. There is no new questions which are being set. Therefore, it means that we can smash the paper. I wanna say thank you so much. Before I start, I need to start, but let me first take this opportunity to say thank you so much, guys, who have been trying to move with us from the beginning until the end. Everything has the beginning and everything has the end. I wanna take also this opportunity to thank all the people who have subscribed to our channel. You have done a great job. I want to take also this opportunity to all my students. I'm talking about the students, physical students. I want to take this opportunity to thank lastly, um, uh, students of Dr. Dube, GL Dube in Kwamashu, KZN. Yeah, I really appreciate your principal. He has been a great man and he really wants you guys to pass. So you must not let him down. Make sure that we pass. Let's go straight to the questions and then we see the most likely asked questions. It's not a prediction. I just called it questions you can't go to the paper without knowing it. So let's start. Let's start. Let's start. All right. Thank you, sir. Guys. If you have any question, let me know. I see. Katlelo, sometimes your names are difficult for me to pronounce. All right. They're saying, what is fertilization? When they talk about what is fertilization, what are you supposed to think about? Fertilization is when the haploid nucleus of the sperm fuses with the haploid nucleus of the ovum to form a diploid zygote. But in this case, you can also say that is when the sperm fuses with the ovum to form zygote. Yeah, then you get it also right. So if you have a question, let me know in the comment section so that I'm able to answer those questions. Ne? All right. They're saying that differentiate between internal and external fertilization. When you talk about internal, and let me zoom them out so that you're able to see properly. When you talk about internal fertilization, where does the sperm find the ovum? It finds outside the female reproductive system, and then inside the female reproductive system, and then external, it finds it outside the female reproductive system. So it's a type of fertilization where the sperm fuses with the ovum outside the female reproductive system. So you have to be able to differentiate between the two. Then we are going to the next question. They're saying that identify the characteristics that is shown in external fertilization. Basically, the major difference there that in external fertilization, organisms, the sperm will fuse with the ovum outside the female reproductive system. So that's what they are looking for. What are some of the advantages of internal over external? When you talk about internal over external, here you are looking at when internal fertilization is happening, it means that there is high chances of the sperms to meet the ovum so that fertilization can take place. You understand? Yes, fertilization can take place. Why? Because these sperms are moving within a what? Within a tube. Then we go to next question. I hope you're able to see it. Here you have a frog. Basically, this question is just to show, it shows you what you're supposed to look at it when you look at external fertilization. When you look at it, automatically it shows you that is external fertilization. You understand? What shows that is external fertilization? We see that the eggs are outside. So it means that the male is depositing sperms on the eggs so that fertilization can take place. You understand? So external fertilization, internal fertilization will increase the chances of fertilization to occur. So how does this frog now to increase the chances of fertilization? Because now, if it is, because this is external, but internal increases the chance of fertilization because it is within the tube. But what about the frogs which don't have external fertilization? So it means that the frog is supposed to produce large number of sperms. So can we please do reproduction? Guys, I cannot divide myself into, I will reach there. Let me go through all the questions. I will reach the questions of reproductive system. Make sure that you stick here until the end. I know you will never regret with my last class. All right, let's continue. Don't forget, by the way, to share, subscribe, and all that, so that more can benefit. You know, we have to see that everyone is happy at the end of the paper. We go. When you look at this, what does it show you? Okay, we're gonna see it in a different angle. Let's not talk about it now. Let's continue to another question. They're saying that differentiate between oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous and viviparous. When you say oviparous, it means that the embryo will develop in the egg. You understand? Outside the female's body. While vivi means inside. The embryo will develop inside the egg. It will develop. Basically, it will develop inside the mother's body, and the embryo obtains nutrients from the mother through the placenta. So here the embryo obtains nutrients from the mother through the what? The placenta. All right. What are some of the advantages? What is the major difference between ovoviviparous and viviparous? Here the major difference, when they give you a question, the major difference here is ovoviviparous. The embryo obtains nutrients from the egg yolk. That is ovo, which means the ovum. You understand? So it is from the embryo. While vivi, the embryo obtains nutrients from the mother through the placenta. So that's what it means. Then they're saying that what are advantages of viviparous and ovoviviparous? Why do they combine this and this? Because both of them, the development is inside the mother's body, is inside the uterus. You understand? But here, the embryo develops outside the mother's body. So basically, when you are developing from inside, you have high chances of this embryo to survive until birth is being given to. You understand? So that is viviparous over viviparous and ovoviviparous over oviparous. Remember, this one is outside. Development is outside. While these two, the development is inside. You understand? So it is inside. Since it is inside, therefore, it means that the embryo can survive. We continue. They're saying that what is the function of amnion? So now let me clear up here so that you are able to understand the concept. What is the function of amnion? Amnion is very important for shock absorber. Chorion is very important for respiration. Yolk sac is very important for providing nutrients. Allantois is very important for gaseous exchange. You understand? Gaseous. Did I say gaseous exchange? No. Waste. It provides. It stores wastes. It's like, remember, these organisms don't have toilet, so they use this to carry out what? To store those wastes. Guys, are you in class? Are you there? Are we moving well? Is everything well? Let me know in the comment section. Shock absorber. Exactly. Simjobo. Yes, exactly. It is shock absorber. We continue the next question. Guys, make sure that you go through these questions before you go tomorrow. Before you go for your what? For your exam. We got the next question. What is the major difference between precocial and altricial? The major difference between precocial and altricial is very clear. Precocial, the organisms are born prepared, meaning that the eyes are open, they have down feather, they have they can defend themselves, they can defend themselves, all that. That's what you are looking at. So if you look at this diagram, you will see that from our distinction material book, we will see that in precocial, you see that eyes are open. Check. You will see that the eyes are open. Yes. Like this, eyes are open. They can defend themselves. They can fly. They can look for food. All that it's happening. You understand? While altricial, the eyes are closed. They are helpless. Don't say it's helpless because being born helpless is not a characteristic. What does it can do? So you talk about it can protect itself, it can feed itself. You understand? It cannot walk. You understand? Yes, that's what you can explain. So when you just say that is born helpless, all right. So no, everything is well. All right, do endocrine. I will do it. Don't stress about it and show you some of the questions. All right, we continue to the next point. They're saying that what is the advantage of precocial over altricial? Precocial, since they are born prepared, therefore it means that they're able to survive. They know, they are conscious about the environment. They know the environment, therefore they can survive if the mother is on there. But altricial, there is no way. So they can only survive when the mother is present. Identify the characteristics of precocial over identify the characteristics of precocial and altricial organisms. These are the characteristics we talked about. Eyes are closed, they can't walk, no down feathers. Yeah, those are the characteristics you must know. Please don't go the paper without knowing those characteristics at least. When they're saying that what is the essence of the organism being given parental care? When they talk about parental care, guys, what you're supposed to think about is protection. It brings about protection and guiding the organism so that it can survive to maturity. So it increases the chances of survival, yes, until maturity. So this embryo is able this organism is able to survive until maturity happens. You understand? Yes. Uh-huh. Um, yes, a moment, guys. Okay. All right. We go to the next question. We got the next question. They are saying that identify the advantage of we're done with that. What is the function of parental care? We're done with that. What is copulation? Copulation is the insertion of a penis inside a vagina. So that's what you're supposed to talk about when you ask you what is copulation in the question. What is pregnancy? Pregnancy is the period when the embryo is implanted until you give birth. Basically, it is the gestation period. It's the gestation period. So it's the period of development of embryo until giving birth. You understand? When we continue to the next question, make sure that you know them. If the function of the parts, meaning these parts, make sure that you know how to label. What is A? It is fallopian tube. What is B? Is the endometrium. What is C? It is the vagina. What is D? It is the cervix. What is this is the ovary. So you have to know the function and the part of those functions. You understand? What will happen if this fallopian tube is cut? Will the person be able to become pregnant? Yes, the person will be able to become pregnant because this one is still there, unless both of them are being cut. So when it comes here, draw the structure of the ovum. Make sure that you know how to draw the structure of the ovum. You have the nucleus, you have the gel-like layer, then you have the cytoplasm, then you have the cell membrane, then you have the, so you have to be knowing when it comes to the female reproductive system. So that's what we are looking for. Why are testes hung outside the male's body? Why are testes, boys? Why are you hang outside the male's body? They hang outside the male's body so that they are able to obtain optimum temperature for sperm production, favorable temperature for sperm production. Tell us what temperature is that, which is 20, which is 2 degrees less than the body temperature, which is basically 35 degrees Celsius. Or remember, the body temperature is 37.5, so it's basically 2 to 3 degrees. So don't say 2 degrees less. What is that? That does not make sense. So hang outside to provide favorable temperature for sperm production, which is 2 degrees less than the body temperature. And then they can also ask you about the, why are you not putting on tight pants? Why are drivers not advisable to sit on in one place for a long period of time? All that is the same thing. So is the issue is about sperm production. Which hormone is responsible for secondary sexual characteristic? In males, it is testosterone. In a female, is estrogen. You understand? Males, testosterone. Female, estrogen. Is it clear, guys? Let me zoom a bit so that you're able to see a bit. All right, we continue. Now you have to label all the parts of the male reproductive structure. Hey, girls, you are good here. You are good here. So you need to be giving me answers that A is this, B is this, C is this. You need to be giving me answers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go and label. They're saying that students from Kwamashu, from give me answers. Give me answers. Give me. I want to see answers here. All right, let's go. What is A? A, it shows that it is vas deferens. What is B? B looks to be a bladder. C looks to be seminal vesicles. D looks to be a prostate gland. E looks to be a penis. F looks to be testis, and then G looks to be the scrotum. I think you guys who have got me, you have been walking or moving with me. Identify the part labeled A. We say that is the vas deferens. E we said is the penis. Explain the function of G. Yes, what's the function of the scrotum? The function of the scrotum is basically to protect. Yes, to protect the testis, and also helps in the contraction so that the to regulate the temperature so that the testis can go up or down depending on the condition of the what? Condition of the testis. Sorry, condition of the temperature. Yes, so scrotum is very, very, very important. The wrinkles which are found in there, they are very important so that when they stretch, they are able to accommodate, pull the testes far away from the body so that the sperms are not damaged. Yeah, by the way, they always say that females are sensitive. Guys, even males are sensitive. The temperature can kill us. All right, we continue. Tendani. I see your answer. Thank you. They say that name and describe the process by which gametes are being produced. Which gamete is this? Which gamete is this? It is the sperms. So they are looking for the process of spermatogenesis. We will see that afterwards. Draw the structure of the gamete produced. Which structure is this? Which gamete is this? Since this is the male, so they are looking for drawing the structure of a sperm. Sure that you know how to draw the structure of the sperm. Obviously, Alex John. Obviously, you're gonna get a distinction. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, you, hey, you Alex John. and you're Muslim. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Inshallah. Bi'idhnillah. Bi'idhnir Rahman. All right. Okay, Mr. Alex. We continue. Draw the flow diagram showing the path of the sperm cell during ejaculation. Ejaculation means that the release of the sperm from the penis. So draw the flow diagram to show the path. Here, when they say draw the flow diagram, they don't want you to draw right cowfell. No, like draw, there is a drawing. No, they just want you to tell us that from, because they're saying the road path, they're saying path. So it starts from the epididymis, not epididymis. Epididymis is not a path, it's being stored there. So epididymis will release it. So it starts from vas deferens. Yes, it goes to the urethra. You understand? And then it comes out of the urethra. Yes, so that's what they are looking for. They say the sperms, they didn't say semen. So sperms. So cool. We continue, guys. Which hormone is responsible? Now, you guys, when I'm giving answers here, make sure that you also give me the answers because you see things on the screen. Give me the answers, I give you the answers. Wabona. Let's go. They're saying that which hormone is responsible for stimulation of maturation of sperms? That is testosterone. 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 Maturation of sperms. Maturation of sperms. We continue. The general name given to seminovesical, prostate gland, and Cowper's gland. What is the general name? We call it accessory glands. I don't want to go in this distinction material book because you guys have been using it. All those answers are there. You will find them there. This is the testosterone we are talking about. See the accessory glands. These are the accessory glands we are talking about. This is the testosterone we are talking about. Yes, so they're saying that they're saying which cells are responsible for production of testosterone. We call them cells of Leydig. Cells of Leydig. Cells of Leydig. Cells of Leydig is responsible for production of testosterone. We continue. They're saying that which cells are responsible for nutrients to the developing sperms. Cells to provide nutrients to the developing sperms. They are saying that cells we call them Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells, these are cells which provide nutrients to the developing sperms or spermatozoa. Then we continue the next question. They're saying that you are not late. At least you are here. Better be late than never. They are saying that will the person be able to spread? Will the person, when this is called when the person is vas deferens is cut, will the person be able to impregnate a woman? No. Why? Because if you cut this, ne, it means that the sperms will not be transferred to the urethra. Wawana. So it won't be transferred to the urethra because you have cut it, you have blocked it. Therefore, no fertilization can take place. Yes. Will the person be able to have HIV? Yes. Because the other fluids which are being produced, during copulation. If the fallopian tube is cut, will the person be able to impregnate? Will the person become pregnant? Yes, the person will become pregnant. Why? Because there is a second fallopian tube. Look, you have two fallopian tubes. You see? So if you cut one, other one can work. Guys, look at the question. The question is asking if the fallopian tube, not tubes. Hey, so now you know. Let's go to the structure. This structure, how do you call this structure? Identify the cycle above. This cycle is called the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle. What's the ovarian cycle? And if this is the ovarian cycle, which process occurs at B? In most cases, guys, once you have something like this, at least first go through and then label everything. So we see that this is forming under influence of FSH, and then this one, when it is developing, is going to produce estrogen. When it produces estrogen, this ovum will mature, and then this one is the Graafian follicle. Then after that, B, ovulation occurs, and then now this one, luteinizing hormone. Did I say luteinizing hormone? Corpus luteum. and then this corpusculum is going to produce what we call progesterone. So now, since I know everything, now I can start. Let me start. By the way, if you have a question, you let me know in the comment section, because so that I'm able to sort that out. Yes, all right. Yes. You're saying identify the diagram above. The cycle is called the ovarian cycle. Which process occurs at B? Which process? Let me clear up, because now I don't look, doesn't look to be. Okay, at B. This is our B, that is ovulation. So correct. We are done with that. What is D? Where is D? Is the mature Graafian follicle, mature ovum. Then they're saying which hormone is produced by A. Where is A? We said it, and we say that the hormone produced by the Graafian follicle is estrogen. And then what is A? Where is A? A is the mature Graafian follicle. This is Graafian follicle. This is also Graafian follicle, but this is a mature one, so we call it mature Graafian follicle. Which woman is produced by C? Which woman? Which hormone? Which hormone is produced by C? Where is C? It produces, we said, is progesterone. What is C? C is corpus luteum. Then they are saying that which hormone is responsible for development of A? What develops this? We said is follicle stimulating hormone. Which hormone is responsible for development of C? Hey guys, I'm a little bit faster, so that we can cover everything, so that you are able to also go through it again, so that you are able to master it, so that you are able to get a distinction. We continue. Which hormone is responsible for development of C? Which hormone is responsible for development of C? This is C. Yes. Which hormone makes this to happen? Is luteinizing hormone. Remember, luteinizing hormone has two functions. It stimulates the development of corpus luteum and also triggers ovulation. We continue. Is the individual pregnant? If you look at it, check here. The individual is not pregnant. Why? Because corpus luteum is degenerating, is shrinking. You understand? Give a reason for your answer. We have given the answer. So at least we know that. Sorry, sir. I have a question on accommodation. Don't stress. I'll reach there. All right. I hope, guys, I'm not too fast, Yeah, but you know me, I'm fast like a bullet, so that we get the distinction fast. All right. Tomorrow is our day. Don't forget to be happy when the results are back. This it can change your life today. Let's watch. We're saying that give two male and female secondary sexual characteristics. Two male and female secondary sexual characteristics. Okay, what are the characteristics you have on yourself which makes you to be ready for sex? Yes, that's what they are saying. Sexual characteristics, meaning that, don't forget, by the way, to stay virgin. And don't forget that virginity is dignity, not opportunity. All right, we continue. Which hormone is responsible for male secondary sexual characteristics? So in male, we say this testosterone, and then yes, and then which what about for female? Female is oestrogen. Oestrogen is the one which is responsible for secondary sexual characteristics. Yes. Yes, I have to finish on time. Don't forget, I also have to sleep. Okay, guys, let's continue. We are doing the describe the process of spermatogenesis. Describe the, guys. Here we don't want a lot of things. Okay, let me reduce the speed. We don't want a lot of things. Here we say that um mm, under the influence of testosterone, the diploid cells in the seminiferous tubes undergo mitosis. Undergo meiosis to form four haploid sperm cells. This is, let me show you what I'm saying and what you want. We don't want any other story. Is here. Under the influence of testosterone, the diploid cell in the seminiferous tube undergo meiosis to form four haploid sperm cells. That's it. Don't add, don't subtract. Done. We continue. Someone is telling me do a higher order question. This one is also a higher order question. All right, we shall reach there. They are saying that describe the process of oogenesis. Oogenesis is the same story like spermatogenesis. Guys, we don't want these things. We don't want at all. Yeah, only this, that's what we want. When it comes to oogenesis, still it's the same story. We don't want a lot of things under the influence of FSH. The diploid cell in the ovary undergo mitosis. The mitosis so that it forms numerous follicle. Only one cell will enlarge to form to undergo meiosis, and out of four, only one will survive to mature and forms an ovum. So, guys, we don't want a lot of things. We only want this. If you see you don't have where to be helped, make sure that take a screenshot and then continue. All right. All right, guys. Okay. Let me just check here. Someone is asking for small help. Yeah. Huh. Continue. Let me ask you a question. What is? Think about those questions and then think if you're able to get it right. All right. Sorry. Some of my students from Kwamashu, they had some challenges, so I was trying to fix it up for them, so that they are able to join. You remember, we are soldiers. A soldier cannot leave another soldier behind until the war is done. The war has to be finished on Monday, and everyone must get a distinction. Let's start. They're saying that what is oogenesis? What is spermatogenesis? Spermatogenesis is the formation of sperms. What is oogenesis? Is the production or formation of ovum. And then they're saying a combination of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So how do you call that? We call it gametogenesis. When you combine spermatogenesis and oogenesis, you form what you call gametogenesis. Is it clear, guys? We continue. You are very fast. I had to rest my playback speed. Oh, I'm very sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to someone saying that remove the lines. Oh, which lines? I don't understand. Oh, you are saying this. Okay, okay. They're saying that let's label this structure. It's called the first one, guys. Let's label together. This one is called Give me the answer in your head. All right, we call it acrosome. B, we call it nucleus. C, we call it middle piece. D, we call it the tail. All right. Draw the structure of a sperm. Is here, guys. Don't just draw ugly structures. No, it's not a sperm. Draw a sperm which looks like a sperm which we are made from. Don't draw things which does not exist. If you draw an ugly sperm, the structure of a sperm properly. All right. Make sure that you label. You don't just run and leave it. Whenever you draw a diagram, make sure it has a caption. Simple, nice. When they ask you a question, how is the sperm adapted to locomotion? How does it Which structures does it have so that it's able to move? That's what they are looking for. So we have the tail, which provide propulsion force for the movement. Provide propulsion force means forward force, like the force which helps the sperm to move forward. And then the middle piece has the mitochondria, which provide energy still for the sperm to move. And then the shape, check the shape, is pointed to reduce friction. Reduce what? Friction. Someone is asking me, is the paper going to be hard? Yes, the paper is going to be hard if you don't go through with me. So stop thinking about, focus with me. We shall see. The paper can't be hard. They're saying, label and give the function of each part. So we know that the function. What are the How is the sperm adapted to fertilization? Let me clear up. How is the sperm adapted to fertilization? When you talk about fertilization, you talk about fertilization here. Bible. Let me use this. How is the sperm adapted to fertilization? When you talk about fertilization, fertilization, we talk about this. So here, you are looking for the this and this. So it has, first of all, it has the acrosome, which contains the enzyme, which is the membrane of the ovum. Fertilization take place. And it has the nucleus, which contains genetic material for inheritance. Guys, when they say acrosome, acrosome does not digest. Acrosome contains the enzymes which digest the membrane of the ovum for fertilization to take place. That's it. We continue. Label. And okay, we're done with that. What is the consequences if the sperm has no acrosome? It means that the sperm will the sperm will not fertilize the ovum. Why? Because there will be no enzymes to digest the membrane of the ovum, so that fertilization can take place. We continue. Here is the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. Someone was asking me about the menstrual cycle. Here you have the graph, simple graph. Let me zoom it out a bit on this side so that you're able to see it properly. Here you have a graph. Remember, I always tell you to be like this. This is estrogen. This is the point, which is the 14. This is FSH. This area is FSH. This is LH, and then this is estrogen, and then this is progesterone. So it means that what is here is progesterone. What is here is estrogen. What is here is LH, and what is here, basically not here, here in the middle here, it is what we call the luteinizing hormone. So what does it mean? Let me continue. So since now I have, don't do that. Okay, since now I have that. So what is the plan here? So I'm going to say that, so the first hormone which increases very sharp on this, on day 14, on this day 14, it is LH. Why? Because it triggers ovulation. Because we know that luteinizing, because we know that LH or LH triggers ovulation, and ovulation occurs on day 14, and also helps in the stimulation of the conversion of this empty Graafian follicle after this ovum has been released, empty Graafian follicle, into this structure called corpus luteum. So the first hormone to increase, the first hormone to increase, which is X, is FSH. Why should it increase? So that so when you see the first hormone to increase, it is FSH. Why? So that is able to develop this Graafian follicle. The moment Graafian follicle develops, then the Graafian follicle will produce another hormone called estrogen. So it means that this graph is estrogen. Why? So that it's able to prepare this uterus for implantation. The moment day 14 happens, the corpus luteum is going to start producing progesterone. You understand? Once progesterone is produced, what happens? That's why you see progesterone increases after day 14, because now corpus luteum is able to produce that progesterone. After day 14, Yes, what happens? Progesterone levels, when they increase, they're gonna start maintaining this endometrium. You understand? They start maintaining what? The endometrium. That's why, if the level of progesterone drops, now you start to undergo menstruation. And the level of progesterone cannot drop unless the corpus luteum has degenerated. You understand? When it degenerates, when it becomes smaller, then it means that now the corpus luteum cannot produce enough progesterone. The level of progesterone drops. The moment the progesterone levels drop, automatically bleeding will start. The moment the progesterone level drop, it's gonna trigger FSH be produced again. And uh, once FSH is being produced, now the cycle continues, the ovum is going to be produced. That's why the person who is pregnant, the level of progesterone must be maintained high so that it prevents the production of FSH, so that you don't become too pregnant at the same time. Yes. uh We continue. We continue, we continue, we continue. Mhm. We are going topic by topic, guys. So here now the questions. On which day did the ovulation take place? Let me clear it up because I was trying to do a simple explanation. So on which day did the ovulation take place? It took place on which day did the ovulation take place? It took place on day 14. Guys, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take place on day 14. You understand? Yes, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Sometimes it doesn't take place on day 14. I remember they brought that equation, and then they couldn't use day 14 because it was day 17. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's day 14. You understand? uh We continue. No, it's good. Sorry, guys. This guy. I don't know how you pronounce your. Guys, okay, thank you, guys. Yeah. It's saying 124, 27. Let's give likes. Yeah, must give likes, guys, so that the video can saturate. All right, we continue, guys. Guys, I really like you to guys to pass. Yeah, we are saying that we continue. Between which day menstruation took place? It took place between which day? Between which days? So it means that from day 0 to day around day 7. Someone is gonna say, is there day 0? Before it is a full day, before it's 12 hours, how many days are those? 0. And that's why we start from day 0. Okay. We got the next question. They're saying that give one visible reason from the graph for your answer. We see that menstruation is taking place here. You see? They're saying that explain why the progesterone level must increase to as in the graph. Why the progesterone levels must increase as shown in the graph during the cycle. So the progesterone levels must increase. Basically, they are looking at the function of progesterone to maintain the endometrium so that it becomes more thicker, more vesicular, more glandular. If the person is pregnant, the endometrium must be maintained, meaning that the function of progesterone is to maintain pregnancy. How does it do that? By making the endometrium more thicker, more vesicular, and more glandular. Mm. So basically, the endometrium is going to become more thicker, more vesicular, more glandular because of what? Because of the progesterone. Describe the relationship between estrogen and the endometrium in day 7 and 14. Remember, I said that the moment estrogen is being produced here, then it's gonna stimulate the endometrium so that it becomes thick, vesicular, and glandular. So it builds the endometrium, builds the endometrium or the uterus, so that it becomes a thick, vesicular, and glandular. But the moment, the moment, eh, the day 14 happens. Now progesterone is gonna start maintaining it. How does it maintain it? By making the endometrium more thicker, more vascular, and more glandular. Yes. All right. We continue. Someone is saying that only 4% of people in last year got a distinction. It means that 4% will be amongst you. It will be among you. You must be among them. You must be among them. Yeah, 4%. They didn't say zero. Yeah, so I'm expecting my distinctions. You see the people who are watching there. Yeah, those are the marks I want. 130. Yeah, 130 out of 150. Yeah. All right, we continue. Someone is asking me about prediction. What do you want more than this? We continue. Did the fertilization take place on day 28? No, didn't take place. Why? Because of the level of progesterone drops, and then the corpus luteum is shrinking. You see, is shrinking. Aha. We continue the corpuscular shrinking. So they're saying list 4 hormones which are involved in the menstrual cycle. Here we have talked about them. We have FSH, LH, estrogen, and progesterone. Yes. I don't want to go too much with the distinction material book, but you guys, you have this. You see, LH. That's what I was explaining. FSH, estrogen, and then progesterone. If you don't have it, take a screenshot. Yeah. Why do you suffer when I'm here? Then each has the function. FSH, what's the function? We said stimulate the development of the Graafian follicle. That's they're looking for. This one triggers ovulation, stimulates the development of Graafian follicle into corpus luteum. This one prepares the uterus for implantation by making it thick, vascular, and glandular. This one maintains pregnancy by making the endometrium more thicker, more vascular, and more glandular. You see? So that more must be there. Yeah. We go to the next question. They're saying that what is the influence? What is the influence? Is the person pregnant? No. Why? Because the level is dropping. This one, progesterone is dropping and cortisol is shrinking. From the graph, give a reason for your answer. I've given you the answer. What is the influence of increased level of progesterone after day 28, day 26? That's what I'm saying, that if this one increases progesterone, goes up like that, it means that it's gonna prevent the production of FSH. You understand? And if FSH is stopped, it means that the embryo, the Graafian follicle will not develop. Therefore, no fertilization takes place. You understand? So that's why if someone is pregnant, the first thing they look at the levels of progesterone in the urine. If the level of progesterone is in the urine is high, then automatically chances high are that you are pregnant. On one condition, you don't test when you are using contraceptive measures of pills and stuff, because some of them, they contain progesterone, which prevents the FSH from being produced. We continue. They're saying that what is copulation? Copulation is the insertion of a penis inside the vagina. Fertilization, we said, is when the haploid nucleus of the sperm fuses with the haploid nucleus of the ovum to form a diploid zygote, or is when the sperm fuses with the ovum to form a zygote. Still is the same thing. You can get a mark. Explain the process of fertilization. When the sperm meets the ovum, the acrosome will digest the membrane, will release the enzymes which digest the membrane of the ovum, so that fertilization, so that the nucleus, the haplonucleus of the sperm can fuse with the haplonucleus of the ovum to form a diploid zygote. So that is what they're asking you here. You see, this is, if you don't know it, if you don't know the process, you know what to do. You know what to do. I'm giving you permission. Take a screenshot, use it, and then smash the paper tomorrow. Right. Let's continue. All right. Let's go to the development of the zygote. Ha! So what is A? Fertilization takes place. B, zygote. Because now once fertilization takes place, the structure which you form is a zygote. Then you have mitosis, so that you form a ball. You see, there are now 4 of them. This is 4 cells. It's not a ball of cells, it's 4 cells. It's a ball of cells which you call the morula. This is the hollow ball of cell which you call the blastula. Then you have the outer layer which called the chorion. You understand? So they're saying that what is B? We know what is B. What is D? We know what is D. What is D? Let me clear up. Clear up so that you're able to see properly. What is B? We see is a zygote. What is D? What is D? Is a morula. What is E? E is the blastula. Why should I write the process? I say take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. That's why I show you those processes. So that you take a screenshot, don't stress me because I need to finish also. I told you I need to sleep. Alright. They're saying that don't say that I should not sleep. Me, I read. I passed. That's why I'm here. It's your turn. And when it's your turn, you can't get the mark I got. You must get more than I got. Yeah, you can't be like me. You must be better than me. That is the principle I must work with. You must be better than me. You can't be like me. Why? Why should you be like me? All right, continue. They're saying that the process A, what is process A? Process A, we said it is fertilization. Uh-huh. The inner wall of the uterus, E, inner wall. The inner wall of the uterus where E is implanted. We call it the endometrium. State the type of cell division which occurs at C. This one is mitosis. Then they're saying that state the type, okay? How many chromosomes are normally found in H? H, we said, is 23 chromosomes because it is 23 chromosomes. Here at B, it is 23 hairs. Because the sperm is 23 and also this ovum is 23, 23, 23. When you combine, you form 46 or 23 pairs of chromosomes. They're saying identify the extra embryonic membrane G. That extra embryonic membrane G is called the chorion. That is the outer membrane of the embryo, which protects the embryo. It's called the chorion. Hmm. Hmm. We got the next question. They're saying what is implantation? Is when the embryo attaches itself onto the endometrium. That is implantation. Give the function of the chorion. Give the function of the chorion. We say the chorion, respiration. Amnion, shock absorber, free movement. So this is what you need to talk about. The process until fertilization. Okay. This is what you supposed to. Yeah. You see, shock absorber prevents dehydration, temperature regulation, all this, ne? Yes, all that. They are saying that guys, stop laughing in the chat and focus on what is coming tomorrow. I these kids. All right, let's continue. Ah, dog, what dog? All right, Mr. Dog. All right, we continue to the next question. By the way, guys, this is the reason why teachers don't get old. Why? Because you make us happy, and sometimes you make us sad. All right, we continue. When you fail, you make us sad. When you pass, you make us happy. Though it's you who is benefiting. All right, we continue. Placenta. What's the function of the placenta? Placenta is responsible for all the processes which you have: nutrition, excretion, secretion. All those processes you have You understand? That's the function of the what? Of the placenta. You see, nutrition, function of the placenta, nutrition, protection, gaseous exchange, excretion, endocrine function. All that is the function of the placenta. If you don't know them, take a screenshot. I've told you that. I'm not going to keep telling you take a screenshot. If you see that you don't know that or you don't have it, take a screenshot. Granted. All right. Use it. Pass. After passing, throw it in the bin. All right. We continue. They're saying that which blood vessel transport oxygenated blood and nutrients from the mother to the fetus. They are looking for the blood vessels which transport oxygenated blood from the mother to the fetus. Which blood vessel is that? So we call it umbilical vein. Umbilical is contain vein which carries oxygenated blood, nutrients to the fetus. You see? Yes, we call it umbilical vein. We continue to the next question. They're saying name three functions of placenta. We saw them. Name three functions of the amniotic fluid. We have seen them. The function of the placenta, they are here, and the function of the amniotic fluid, they are here. We have talked about them. Make sure you go when you know them. All right. We continue to the next point. We continue to the next point. Label. What is this? A is the placenta. Uh, does it look to me it's not a placenta? Is the yeah the endometrium. G is the placenta. B is the uterus or uterine wall. B is the amnion. C is the embryo or fetus. This one looks to be the amniotic sac. See? And then F looks to be the chorion, the outer membrane is the chorion. And then H is the umbilical cord. Yes. We go. Uh, process by which blastocyst is attached to the uterine wall. Implantation. Period during which fetus is develops into the uterus. How do you call that? We call it period which the fetus develop in the uterus. We call it implantation. Describe the stage of development of the zygote until implantation, until after fertilization. So they are looking for that process. They are looking for that process. I've shown you this under it will undergo mitosis to form a ball of cells which called morula, which undergoes mitosis to form a hollow ball of cells which called blastula, and the blastula forms the outer layer called chorion, which forms finger-like projection which we call chorionic villi. So it is here. If you don't know it, take a screenshot. You're able to get it right. Someone is saying B is not amniotic fluid, sir. Are you asking or you are telling me B is not amniotic fluid? Let me check. B. What did I say? B is amniotic fluid. Are you saying B is not amniotic fluid? You are asking B is amniotic fluid. That's why E is amniotic sac. And then F becomes the chorion. So B is the amniotic fluid. So we got the next question. We got the next question, guys. Just a moment, guys. Ah, they're saying that describe the stage of development. Describe the effect of fetus if the liquid in B is not enough or during development. When the liquid is not enough, this one, the amniotic fluid, ne? Or what you call the amnion. It's the amniotic fluid. Uh-huh. If the fluid is not enough, it means that someone is saying B is not amniotic fluid. What is B then? B is amniotic fluid. Ah, this will help. Uh-huh. So we are saying that describe the effect of the fetus if the liquid is not enough. It means that they will not be able to will not be able to do what, to rotate properly. Free movement will not take place. So you basically, what is happening there, all the functions of all the functions of amnion, all the functions of amnion will not take place. You understand? All the functions of the amnion will not take place. This, there will be less there will be less prevention of dehydration, meaning that the baby will be dehydrated. Ne? The temperature might not be kept constant. You understand? There will be some injuries which might happen. The cushion will not be strong enough to be to protect the baby, because they're saying it's less. It's not saying it's all of it is out. So it means that the function it was performing is gonna be less. So you must take note of the question they have asked. Explain two functions of the blood vessels in the umbilical cord during the developmental stages. Explain two functions of the blood vessels in the umbilical cord during the developmental stages. Two functions of blood vessels. Remember, we have what you call uh, umbilical vein and the umbilical artery. The artery will transport the blood, um, which is deoxygenated from the fetus to the placenta. You understand? And the other wastes. While the umbilical vein will do the opposite. You understand? It will do the what? The opposite. Meaning that it will transport oxygenated blood and nutrients from the fetus to, so from the placenta to the fetus. This is what I'm saying. Yes, this. These are the two blood vessels they are talking about. You understand? Uh-huh. Uh, we continue. Next question. What is the function of the receptor? All right, we go to the nervous system. Hey guys, this is umbilical vein, not umbilical vein. What's the receptor? A receptor is what's the function of a receptor? Receptor receives the stimulus and converts it into a nerve impulse. Effector receives the impulse and brings about the effect. You understand? Receives the impulse from the central nervous system and then converts it into an effect so that it brings about the effect. A detectable change in the internal or external environment is called a stimulus. Electrical message generated in the receptor in response to the stimulus. How do we call it? We call it nerve impulse. What is the function of the nervous system? Nervous system is basically for coordination. You understand? It's the coordination. How is the brain of the body parts and trying to protect the body? What's the function of the brain? Sorry, how is the brain protected? It's protected through is protected the I think people are not seeing properly. Just like this. All right. Is protected. How is the brain protected? The brain is protected through the cranium, not skull, cranium, cerebrospinal fluid, and the and the meninges. Yeah, they're asking you about this. How is the brain protected? Cranium, meninges, cerebrospinal fluid. Yes. Then we continue saying that give two functions of cerebrum. Cerebrum. They are looking for the function of cerebrum. Cerebrum, is the center for higher thought processes, control all voluntary actions, and also it receives and interprets all the sensation. Cerebellum, this one is responsible for balance and the equilibrium and also ordinance all voluntary movements. Medulla oblongata, this one is responsible for all, it controls all involuntary action like heartbeat, breathing, what, because they can bring a question and say talking about the heartbeat, so you have to know that that is an involuntary action. Not your girlfriends, not your boyfriends controlling the heartbeat. No, it is medulla oblongata. Corpus callosum, this one allows communication between the two hemisphere and also connect the left and the right hemisphere together. Uh-huh. We continue. Cranium spelling. All right. We continue to the next point. Okay. So, what is the part of the brain? What is this? Is cerebrum? What is this? Is the pituitary gland? What is this? Is medulla oblongata? What is this? That is the spinal cord. And what is this? That is cerebellum. They're saying, how is the spinal cord protected? The spinal cord is also protected in the same way. Is protected by the meninges, cerebrospinal fluid, and the vertebra. Yeah, that is the spinal cord. Then they are saying that the nervous system is responsible for restoring. Explain what is involved in the peripheral nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. So basically, when you talk about the peripheral nervous system, you're talking about the autonomic nervous system and then somatic nervous system. You understand? So that's what you're talking about. So of which it's made up of the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves and then the 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So we are talking about this peripheral, which means sides, peripheral nervous system. You understand? However, it is also divided into the autonomic nervous system. You understand? That's why I say that somatic, yes, and then autonomic. The autonomic nervous system is divided into two, that is sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. This is what we are talking about, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Sympathetic helps in bring putting the body into the situation of emergence, while parasympathetic restores the normal state of the body after the emergence. So that is the major difference. Uh-huh. Then we go to the next question. Someone's asking me, can we do paper one? Which paper is there? Yo, all right. The two system working in opposite, this is opposite way. We call them antagonistic. We call them what? Antagonistically. Antagonistic is here, antagonistic. Then they are saying that what is the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic? Here you have to know this table. Take a screenshot. Yes. Take a screenshot of that. Increase the heart rate, decrease the heart rate. Constriction of blood vessels in the skin, dilate the blood vessel. It means that it brings back the situation. It brings the situation back to normal. That's the difference. Increase the blood vessels, blood pressure, decrease the blood pressure. Take a screenshot of that, and then we continue. Now, they're saying that draw the structure of a neuron. Hey guys, make sure that you know how to draw the structure of a neuron. A neuron, motor neuron. Make sure there is a structure of a neuron here. I put the structure of a what? Of a neuron. Yes. Make sure that you know how to draw that structure of a what? Of a neuron. So draw the structure of a neuron. Make sure that you know motor neuron and the sensory neuron. What is the function of axon? Axon transmit impulse away from the cell body. Well, dendrite transmits impulse towards the cell body. You understand? Yes. This is what they are looking for. Yes. Then they're saying that give the function of the sensory neuron. Sensory neuron is responsible for transmitting the impulse. Is responsible for transmitting the impulse from the receptor to the central nervous system. Interneuron is responsible for transmitting the impulse from the sensory neuron to the effector. No, to the motor neuron, while motor neuron is responsible for transportation of the impulse, transmitting the impulse from the central nervous system into the effector. So that's what they are looking for. This motor neuron transmits central nervous system to effector. Sensory neuron from the receptor to the central nervous system. Interneuron from it connects the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. So you have to do that. All right. We continue. They're saying that what is the reflex arc? A reflex arc is a rapid, no, is a path traveled by the impulse during the reflex action. Correct. We go. What is the reflex action? Is a rapid automatic response to the stimulus. Correct. Give two examples of reflex action. Knee jerk, withdrawal of the hand from the hot object, blinking of the eye. All those are functions. Those are examples of reflex action. What is the function of the reflex action? This one protects the body from further harm. What's a synapse? A junction between two or more neurons. Yes, basically it's when the junction between the dendrite of one neuron and the axon of another neuron can also be defined like that. They're saying that what's the function of the synapse? Allows impulse to move in one direction. What happens if more neuron is damaged? It means that you won't be able to detect. No, you won't be able to respond, but you will be able to detect the stimulus or to feel. What will happen if the sensory neuron is damaged? What will happen if this is damaged? If this is damaged, it means that you won't be able to feel, but you will be able to respond. If the motor neuron is the one which is damaged, this one, it means that you won't be able to feel. No, you will be able to feel, but you won't be able to respond. Is a gap between two neurons. Okay, synapse. They're saying that, but when you go to with the more science, the gap is called the synaptic cleft. They're saying that describe the process of the reflex action. So here you explain from this point, it goes in, the impulse goes in here, then it goes out. You show everything. Let me show you what I'm saying here. You show everything. Yeah, this is it. Functioning of the simple reflex action. This is what they are looking for. Stimulus pain is detected, and then by the receptor, they converts the impulse to into an impulse which is transmitted along the sensory neuron to the dorsal root. So you see, you're explaining this, and then it goes to the via the dorsal root. Then they are saying that where transmitted from the sensory neuron to the interneuron through the synaptic connections. So you are there. So you see that you're explaining everything, and then you move out until you reach here. You see, that is what they are looking for. So it stopped there. So basically, this usually becomes 6 marks. 6 marks. Yes. Write down the path traveled by the impulse. When they say path, they just want you to tell us receptor, sensory neuron, interneuron, motor neuron, and then the effector. That's it. That's it. Then we go to the next question. Define the reflex arc. We know it. Say the path traveled by the impulse during a reflex action. Identify the functional connection is C. Where is C? C is a synapse. The synapse type of neuron B. Where is B? B is motor neuron. Let me check. Let me check. I want to give you here. B is interneuron. They're saying the significance connection, two significance of connection mentioned above. It allows impulse to move in one direction. That's number one. The second function, you can say that it prevents continuous stimulation of the what? Of the continuous stimulation of the what? of the muscles or the neuron, so that now it allows only that one direction part of it. Because of that, they're saying name the neuron as they occur. Name the neuron as they occur. The correct sequence from receptor to effector. This is the receptor, this is the effector. So it means that it's going to be this, it's going to be this, then it's going to be this. So it's going to be A to B to D. So basically they are looking for the path covered by the impulse. Explain the consequences of the reflex action if D is damaged. Where is D? Is the motor neuron, meaning that you will be able to feel but you won't be able to react. Draw the structure diagram representing structure neuron A. Where is A? That is the sensory neuron, because of the ganglion. Because of this ganglion. Because of this ganglion, this swelling. We call it the ganglion. Huh. All right, we continue to the next question. Label all the parts of the eye and give the function of each part. So guys, that's your job. Label the function of the parts and label all the parts of the eye and give the function of each. Simple. Ah, I think I skipped a question. I skipped a question. Is this one. Differentiate between Alzheimer's disease and multiple sclerosis. Yes. What is the major difference between Alzheimer's disease and multiple sclerosis? Huh. Basically, they're asking you this. Alzheimer and then this multiple sclerosis. Yes. What causes multiple sclerosis? Degeneration of the myelin sheath. And what causes the Alzheimer's disease? Destroying the cerebral cortex. Do you understand? Uh-huh. So we go to the next question. Uh-huh. Hey, by the way, guys, thank you so much. Those people are on live. You really do a great job. At least you make me continue going. If there is nobody watching, well, then why should I be on live? So even if there is one or two, at least you make me happy, and at least maybe I'll change someone's life. Yes, someone's life. All right, let's go to the next question. They're saying that label the function, or okay, we are done with that. I was showing you the eye. So you guys take a screenshot of it if you don't know, if you don't have this, the structure of the eye. I can't go through it because you know it. Just take a screenshot and then, yeah, you must use that. They say that involve vision involving two eyes. We call it binocular. Accommodation is ability of the eye to see near and far object, or ability of the focal length of the lens to change so that it's able to focus on near and far object. We appreciate what happens. What happens? I don't know. Guys, this is out of scope. This is out of scope. They're saying describe the structural changes when the person is viewing object with less than 6 meters. Here they are talking about a nearby object. Remember, I told you that when you are viewing a nearby object near, for example, a plane, you see it big. Ne? It's not when it's in the sky, you see it small. It's not small, but looks small. So when you are viewing objects which are far, ne? The objects are going to become very small. While objects which are near, they're going to become very big. You understand? This is near. So it means that even the lens here is going to be very small. While the lens here is going to be very big. Why? So that this field, you see, it comes as big thing. Ne? It can be converged to the retina. You see? Yes, can be converged to the retina. Or this one, which is small, the field of view of this is not as big as this. So it means that it requires a small lens to focus this onto the retina. You see? Yes. Then we continue to the next point. What are they saying? Now, what causes this lens to change from this side, this side? So they're saying nearby object. It means that the tension here is gonna be less, meaning that we don't say contract for the suspensory ligament. We say that they slacken. While here, because they are too small, the tension is supposed to be very high so that you pull. It's like pulling a balloon. So it means that the suspensory ligament, they become taut. This one must relax because they work antagonistically. This one must contract. The ciliary muscles contract, suspensory ligament may become slacken, the tension on the lens decreases, the lens becomes more thick, more curved. Don't say more curved. This is not a lady, or this is not a what? Uh, More thick, more convex. You understand? And then refracting power increases, and then the light is focused onto the retina. So basically, that's what you're supposed to look at. Make sure that when it comes to accommodation, don't include don't include sacral muscles and the radio muscles, please. It is ciliary muscles, suspensory ligament, and then the lens. Those ones. This is what I was trying to explain. So you guys, you must be knowing that. You can't make a mistake to go to the paper without knowing that. Aha. Then we continue to the next question. The next question. What is peripheral mechanism? Peripheral mechanism is the ability of the eye to see in dim and bright light. Describe the changes of the eye which occur when the viewing in the dim light, from dim light to a bright light. From dim light to a bright light. So, yes. So here you explain what is at the last, not what you are from, where you are going. So it means that R, we're gonna go with the R, C is gonna go with the C. Radio muscles of the iris. If you don't add the word iris, zero. Radio muscles of the iris, relax. Sacral muscles of the iris, contract. The diameter of the pupil, constrict. Less light enters the eye. This is what they are talking about. R with R, C with the C. So you guys, you know these things. Radio muscles of the iris relax. Sacral muscles of the iris contract. The pupil constrict, becomes more smaller. Less light enters the eye. That's it. They're saying that describe the changes in the eye when the person, okay, you've done that. What is short-sightedness? You are able to see objects which are near, but you won't be able to see objects which are far. That is short sight. Meaning that if you're able to see objects which are near, it means that your lens is big. So it means that when the object comes from far, it comes very small, this field of view. So this can be converged easily, yet the retina is still far. So the image is formed in front of the retina. So what do I do? How do I correct? You add what called a concave lens so that it makes it bigger, and then when it falls on the lens can diverge it, converge it into the retina. So it shifts from this point to this point. So you apply a concave lens. While this one long sight is the same story, but now it's different way. Uh, the lens is small, and then this one is near. So you're able to see objects which are far but not near. If this is the retina, this lens is too weak to converge this to the retina. So the image is gonna form at the back. So what do I do? How do I correct it? I correct it by putting on the concave lens, convex lens, so that now it brings the light as if it is coming from far. Now the lens can converge it into the retina. So you see, so you put on convex lens or biconvex. Astigmatism is when there is unequal distribution of the cornea. So it means that you form multiple images, very common in older people. Yes. Then they're saying that what is cataracts is when the how do we treat astigmatism? Use what you call the prescribed lenses or spherical lenses. Prescribed lenses or spherical lenses. See? Yes. And then the last one, or laser. I think you have ever watched the Final Destination when the person they were busy fixing the eye and then things happened. Final Destination. All right. So you're saying that cataracts means it means the cloudiness of the eye. Cloudiness of the what? Of the eye. So we come back here. We see that the lens becomes cloudy, so it becomes opaque. Yes, it becomes opaque. It cannot allow light to go through. So what do? We remove it and we replace it with a synthetic lens. Yes. Uh-huh. We got the next question. Name all the parts of the eye and its function. Name all the parts of the eye and its function. Um, so we know that. They're saying describe the process of, did I say eye? Name the parts of the ear and its and its function. So it means that you have to label everything. Pinna, auditory canal, tympanic membrane, oscars, oval window. Here is a round window. Here is the eustachian tube. Here is semicircular canal. Here is cochlea. Here is optic nerve. You see, you must know how to label. The eye, you must also know how to label. This is the choroid, and then this is the retina. This is the optic nerve. This is the lens. This is the iris. You see? Mhm. Then, now why, guys, I see you, Emmanuel, I see you. Now, I see you. I see you guys. Stop asking if this thing is pre-recorded. Please focus and then get a distinction for me. Eh? You people. Aibo. Aha. The Emmanuel is busy laughing, laughing. Stop laughing, laughing, and then focus and get marks. I want marks. All right. Yeah, I told you must be better than me, not like me. All right, we continue. uh All right. Oh, we got the next question. They're saying, what is the what? Oh, what is the middle ear infection? Is when you talk about middle ear infection, it means that accumulation of the fluid, accumulation of the fluid in the middle ear. You understand? Accumulation of the fluid in the middle ear as a result of a bacterial infection. That is what we call. That is what we call. That is what we call middle ear infection. Is when there is accumulation of the fluid in the middle ear due to a bacterial infection. You understand? Yes. Then they're saying that how do we treat it? Since it is a bacteria, so we use what you call antibiotics. Number two, we use these structures called grommets. The structures called what? Grommets. Where are they? Grommets. Where are you? Grommets. Where you see? Yes, these are what called the grommets. So this is how you treat the middle ear infection by inserting the grommets or and also apply the antibiotics. Heh. We continue, guys, to the next point. Continue, guys, to the next point. All right. They're saying that what is the middle ear infection? Okay, we're done with that. How do you minimize the hearing loss? By using the hearing aids. So this is what they're talking about. Basically, they're talking about deafness. So you use hearing aids, and also you can use the cochlear implant. So we continue. The next question, they're saying that identify what is B, so we know that. State the function of A. Where is A? It collects sound wave and directs it into the auditory canal. Correct? It collects and directs into auditory canal. Explain why the middle ear infection could affect the hearing. Basically, when there is too much accumulation of fluid, it will prevent the normal functioning of the oscars. Number two, it builds the pressure on the what? On the tympanic membrane, causing the tympanic membrane to burst, leading to deafness. So you have it can affect what? Hearing. Describe the role of eustachian tube. Eustachian tube equalizes pressure on the either side of the tympanic membrane. Oscars, they are very important in amplification of vibration. Over window, it is very important in the creating the pressure wave in the inner ear. Round window absorbs or releases excess pressure from the inner ear. Sir, can you please stop posting memos of all papers we have written? No, it is simple. Don't watch them. Why do you watch them when you don't want to see it? Yeah? No, man. People want to do the memo so that they can judge themselves, so that they know how much energy they need to put in other subjects and this paper. Because if I don't do that, you won't read. You wouldn't even have been here. You'll be sleeping thinking that you passed. Can't you think the paper you killed it? Can't the paper killed you? Please make sure that you kill the paper tomorrow. All right. Mhm. Anyway, it's not me who is posting. It is the posting, the managing director, not me. Me, I'm just a worker. All right, we continue. Describe E involving in maintaining between when a change in the speed. Here they want you to explain balance. So, guys, make sure that you know. Uh-huh. They are saying that describe balance. So you need to talk about the process of balance. Use SAIDI's model. SAIDI's model of balance. SAIDI's model of balance. Change in the speed and direction of the head stimulates the cresti found in the ampulla of the semicircular canal. Change in the position of the head stimulates the maculae found in the circulus and the utriculus of the semicircular canal. Okay, the stimuli is converted into a nerve impulse, which is sent along the auditory nerve to cerebellum for interpretation. Simple. Simple. So what I need to do? People are talking about this booklet. You can get it from the channel by clicking join. All right, access all my books. All right, we continue to the next question. The next question, describe, okay, write down, okay, carry out the impulse. So basically, that is it. Let's go to the next question. Did they skip any question there? No. What is a hormone? So basically, these are chemical messengers. Chemical messengers which are needed by the body, bring about the normal functioning of the body. Yes. And then they are talking about differentiate between endocrine. Endocrine, these are glands which don't have ducts. They secrete their secretion into the bloodstream. While exocrine, these are glands which have ducts. They secrete their substances. They secrete the substances directly to the target organ. You understand? They secrete the substances direct to the what? The targeting organ. Give one gland which is both endocrine and exocrine. One gland which is both endocrine and exocrine. That is the pancreas. The pancreas. Label. Label. What is A? Pituitary gland. B. Thyroid gland. C. Pancreas. D. Adrenal gland. You need to know the function and pattern function. I see here, you can't see it properly, but you can use this. Let me just do like this so that you're able to take a screenshot of it. Yes. Now you can take a nice screenshot of it so that you are able to, if you don't know, if you don't remember or what, yes. So I think you're done with the screenshot. We continue to the next point. They're saying that which hormone is responsible, produces glucagon. We said which hormone, number, which gland is responsible for production. Let me first clear up so that I'm able to see properly in my eyes are not. Yes, glucagon is 3, which is pancreas, produce which gland converts, let me do like this, produce the hormone that controls the growth of long bones. That is growth hormone. Growth hormone is number 1, which is pituitary gland. They're saying that produce iron containing hormone. That is thyroxine, which is number 2. They're saying that produce a hormone that is involved in the absorption of salt. That is the number 4, which is aldosterone. The hormone is aldosterone, so it's being produced by adrenal gland. All right, guys, guys, make sure that you don't stress yourself. How don't you stress yourself? How don't you stress? You do that by following me here so that you're able to pass. If you don't do that, you'll be stressing yourself. Ne? Please make sure that you focus. Let's focus, guys. Ne? We need more marks. We need more marks, man. We need more marks. Thank you. All right, we continue. Name all the glands. So we're done with that. Disorder due to lack of iodine. We call it goiter. Yes. You know, when me Africana, ne? I'm a colored. We speak Afrikaans. I'm an Afrikaner. Speak Afrikaans. I want to know, how do you write this? How do you read this in Afrikaans? Goiter. Yeah, I like it. Goiter. Yeah. Goiter. Call it the way you want to call it so that you guys make sure that you remember it. Goiter. All right. Goiter. All right. What is hyperthyroidism? Hyperthyroidism is when the thyroid gland is overworked, meaning that it produces too much thyroxine. You understand? When it overworks, then it does what you call the hyperthyroidism. It's this one. Yes. So uh they're saying that the negative feedback mechanism of glucose, thyroxine, carbon dioxide, water, and salt. Guys, all of them, they have the same style. So what you need to do is to memorize this. Make sure that you memorize this, as I told you. But I told you that to answer such question, you just need to do this. This is what you need to do. If they say normal level, normal level, normal levels. So it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that. If here they say low levels of whatever, so here is gonna be the levels increase. There's increase in the levels. If here they say high levels, so the last point must be there will be decrease in that level. So now the next thing is you put here, you only have 2 points to put on. For example, let me give you an example here. If it is glucose, glucose, I will know that glucose, which gland is responsible is the pancreas. So the pancreas will secrete more insulin. You see, now it's connected. Now, what's the function of insulin? Talk about the function of the hormone here. The insulin will stimulate the conversion of the liver. No, insulin will stimulate the liver to convert glucose to glycogen. The moment glucose is converted into glycogen automatically. No, man, this is low. This is low. Sorry. But it's the same thing, eh? Let me just see. If this is low, I need to increase. So it means that the pancreas will secrete glucagon. Then when it secretes glucagon, automatically this glucagon is gonna stimulate the conversion of the conversion of glycogen back to glucose. The moment glycogen is converted back to glucose, the level does what? Increase and goes back to normal. So you guys, it's the same story, the same story. So if you see increase here, the last point must be decrease. You talk about the gland and what does that gland produce, which hormone. Then the next step, you talk about the function of that hormone, what does it do, and then automatically the cycle continues. So please make sure that at least, please make sure that at least you get it right. We go to the next point. We go to the next point. We go to the next point. Mhm. Next question. What is the special cells which are responsible for production of glucagon and insulin? We call them isolates of Langerhans. Isolates of what? Langerhans. What will happen if a person with a low level of insulin in their body? It means that there will be less, they said low level. Low level. It means that there will be less conversion of less conversion of glucose into glycogen, and then that will lead to person suffering from diabetes mellitus. Yes. Other than glucagon, which other hormone result in the conversion of glycogen back to glucose? We call it adrenaline. It is what? It is adrenaline. That is the hormone which is responsible for conversion of glucose, of glycogen back to glucose. Why? Because adrenaline is responsible for preparing you for emergency. They're saying that what is the hormone responsible for water regulation is ADH. Yeah. We are saying that which structure in the skin is responsible for controlling the temperature? Temperature is controlled by the sweat gland and the blood capillaries. This, guys, please make sure that you know the negative feedback mechanism of carbon dioxide. Ne? This. Remember, it only has one way. So what I'm looking for is this. Yeah? Yes. Is the sweat. Let me just use this one. The question properly. Yeah. Is this? Is the sweat gland, the blood capillaries. You see? Yeah, those are the 2 points which control the the temperature regulation. So when you're explaining, it must be explained regarding to that. So which structure in the skin are responsible for controlling temperature? Then which part of the brain is responsible for detecting the temperature changes? Hypothalamus. Describe a thermal regulation during hot day. You want this. The hypothalamus is stimulated and then sends the impulse to the blood vessels. The blood vessels will dilate, correct? You see, it goes up much. See here, it's dilated. Check here, it's small, it's constricted. This is called vasodilation. This is the mark and this is the mark. Do you know that? So it means that now you have a lot of marks. More blood will flow to the skin. More heat is going to be lost from the skin. More blood will be sent to the sweat gland. The moment the sweat gland has a lot of blood, the sweat gland is going to become more active. And then what happens? Sorry, more sweat is going to be released, and then this leads to evaporation of the sweat. Is going to lead to the cooling of the what? Cooling of the body. So that is it. How is how do I differentiate between the blood vessels in the skin in the cold day and the hot day? Cold day, we see that in the cold day they shrink, while in hot day they become dilated. So it's like this. Blood vessels, you see, they are too small. While here they are too big. You understand? Yes. They're saying that. So do all these questions. Try to make sure that you do all the questions. Let's go to the last part of the question, which is tropism. Tropism, give to Tropism is the response of the plant towards or away from the stimulus. The function of the auxins are responsible. These are growth promoters. You understand? So they're looking for this function. It brings about apical dominancy, growth regulation, cell division, formation of adventitious root, development of the fruits, all that. Then they are saying that give the reason for your which hormone is responsible is a very high concentration in the winter. We call it what? Gibberellins. Make sure that you know the spelling. Did I say winter? In the winter is abscisic acid. So you guys make sure that you know the spelling properly. We say that this hormone is very common in winter. Why? Because if you look at its function, all of them they happen in winter. Stomata closure, dormancy, bud dormancy, seed dormancy, shading of the leaves. All that happens in the what? In the winter or towards winter. They're saying that explain which hormone is high in summer. In summer is gibberellins. Why? Because of the properties. If you look at it, stem elongation, germination, breaking of dormancy, flowering. When you have flowers in summer, not most, especially winter. Winter, if they are there, they are very expensive. Give a answer. We have done that. The plant responds to the stimulus in relation to the light. This one is called the phototropism. Explain the bending effect of the light from a single direction. They want you to explain geotropism. Geotropism. So here you explain. Auxins are found at the tip of the shoot. Auxins are growth promoters. When light from a single direction is exposed, which we call the unilateral light, the auxins will move to the dark side. You understand? You see, they're gonna move to the dark side because light is coming from this direction. The dark side, remember, auxins are growth promoters. So the dark side will grow faster than the light side. You see? So the dark side will grow faster than the light side. Why? Because it has a high concentration of auxin. You understand? Resulting in the shoot bending to the source of light. So they just want this. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Sir, you skipped a question. Which question? Busisiwe. Share the link, sir. Which link? Okay, Abusisiwe, I'll check and see. Which question did I skip? What is the hormone? I'm done with that. Done with that. Response for both in regulation. I did. Explain the bending effect. We're done with that. Which instrument is used to remove the bending effect of geotropism? We said it's a clinostat. Yes, we call it a what? A clinostat. It's this one. Clinostat. When it rotates, it brings about the equal distribution of the what? Equal distribution of the what? Of the equal distribution of the auxins. Therefore, it does not form that. It does not bend. It continues to grow straight like that. Check this one where there is no clinostat. Automatically, here it shows that the clinostat is rotating slowly. They're saying that how are plants protected from herbivore? Uh-huh. They are protected from the herbivore through thorns and then also production of chemicals is here. Defense mechanism. They use the thorns or they can use chemical mechanism so that they prevent the poison. Will you go and eat a plant which you know that is killing? No, you won't do that because you know that it won't make you survive. How a plant, okay, explain the bending effect of gravity in the roots. So they want you to explain geotropism. Don't forget that in geotropism, it is the opposite. Auxins inhibit growth. So that where there is high concentration of auxin, there will be less growth. So when the root is placed horizontally, the auxins will diffuse the lower side due to gravity. The auxins concentration will be high on the lower side than the upper side. So the upper side will grow faster. Why? Because the high concentration of auxin will inhibit. So the upper side will grow faster than the lower side, resulting in the root bending to the soil. Uh-huh. All right. Then we go to the next question. The next question, so done with that. So basically, that is it. Let's go to the aim investigative question. Yeah, this one also kills some people. Aim, make sure that you know. Aim is always starting with the two and helps us to identify the independent and the dependent variable. You understand? The first one is the independent, the second one is the dependent. Validity, it must have the word same environmental conditions, same individuals, same age, same gender. You understand? Depending on the question. Reliability, this one increase the sample size and repeat the experiment. But we don't want the answer like that. They're gonna ask you, this is the only time we mark English properly. If they say, how did they increase reliability? You look at the question, read it. And when you find maybe they used 50 people, then you say that they used 50 people. You understand? They used 100 bags. They used what? You understand? How would you have improved? I would have improved by increasing the number to be more than 5 if they used 5. Is the experiment reliable? Look at the number. If the number is big, then you say that it's reliable because they used many individuals. They repeated the experiment more than one time. They repeat the experiment 3 times, or they did the experiment 3 times. So you need to look at, when you talk about reliability, look at the question, how have they asked it, then answer it. Planning stage, make sure that it has what decide the date, decide the place, decide. If you don't have decide, 0. Independent and dependent, you get it from the aim or from the table. Control variable, this one, the function is to compare results. In most cases, we use it to compare results. When they talk about percentage increase and decrease, percentage increase is final minus initial over initial times 100. You understand? Then percentage decrease is initial minus final over initial times 100. So you guys, percentage decrease is always percentage increase or decrease. The lower part, the denominator must be initial. If you forget, look for the figure which is big, so it's gonna be big minus small divided by initial. So the one which is big, you go to the table. Is it initial or final? If it is final, then you come here, you say it's final minus initial over initial. So make sure that, guys, you know how to do that. Then we go to pie chart. Make sure that you know how to calculate. If they have given you 10, 20, 30, and then 5, join all of them, add all of them to get a total. For example, the total is 101. So I'm going to say that for this one, it's going to be 10 divided by 101 times 360. Then you get the figure in degrees. After that, plot, draw a square, a circle. It will have a dot because use a compass. And then after that, draw a line, put your protractor here, measure. If you have 50 degrees, then measure the 50, put a dot there, join it. Now the protractor must be in that angle. Now this becomes the reference point. Put the protractor, maybe it's 20 degrees, put the protractor, measure the 20. Now this one becomes now the reference point. Keep turning it like that, like that, like that. So bar graph, guys, make sure that if the bar graph, make sure that the bars are the same bars, this space and this space and this space must be the same. This space and this space and this space must be the same. Make sure that when you're using the unit, if 202,468, it must be like that. So if it is 2 tables, you have x and then you have y. So it means that you're going to plot this and this and this and this. If it is a bar graph, it's going to be this and this, you plot, and this and this, then you plot this and this, space now, you plot now this and this, because it's the same individuals, then you join it like that. Then space, you go to this one. So like that, like that. We call this one a grouped bar graph. Uh-huh. And then the histogram, make sure that there are no spaces in between here. There are no spaces. There should be no spaces in between there. And then, uh, histogram, that is it. So you guys, I think I'm done. So basically, I wish you the best. I'm so happy that you guys have been here on live. I see a lot of people here. I thank all the students I've been teaching this year. Please don't let me down. Both those have been teaching online and those have been teaching not online, like individually. And those people who have been watching our videos, thank you so much. You have done a great job. You have really done a great job. I thank the students of Dr. J.L. Dube High School, Wamashu. Yes, people of Queen's Park, people of Skyline, people of hey guys, I have a lot of schools I should speak. People of Soweto, people of Limpopo. I see you guys, you support us too much. People of KZN. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah. Yeah, people of Northwest. Tell us where you're coming from before even I go off. So, guys, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kids of Royal Kings, kids of South Hills, kids of everyone who is watching, kids of IQ, everyone. We thank you, guys, and I wish you the best. Please don't waste too much time. Go through this again and again and again. When the paper comes, smash it. You know our language. We smash it, we get the marks, we get distinctions, and then we shall see here when you are preparing paper 2 again. You understand? Paper 2 again. Thank you so much, guys. It has been a wonderful night. Guys, where are you coming from? Let me use these 2 minutes. Where are you coming from? Yes, America. Aibo. Benoni from Benoni Happiness. Thank you so much, Benoni. Nelly from Limpopo. So, Celos. Try. From Cosmos City. Cody 40 from Limpopo. Yes, my mans. You're right. Ne? Oh, all right. Thank you so much, guys. Go smash the paper. See you again in seeing people here from Eastern Cape. Zana Party from Eastern Cape. Nelly from what? Paper 2. Hey, I'll post the link. Yes. Cape Town, man. Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see here. Cindy from Rodiport. So you are just near to us here at the studio, Johannesburg West. Right, I see as well from Eastern Cape. Alika from Cape Town in New York. New York, hamba wena. New York where? New York of Mozambique. Botomelo from Northwest. I see you guys 100%. Yeah, from Westridge. Hey, by the way, Westridge is also my school. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please make sure that you don't let me down. Yes, yeah. All the best, guys. Wish others the best. Limpopo. I see a device from Limpopo. I see prayer from Durban. Dubai. Hambawen. Guys, wish others the send number I transfer man. To who? Joy from Jamaica. Jamaica boy. Okay, guys, let me just go, guys. Cape Town, guys. Tandani from Cape Town. Hey, guys, I can't finish everyone, eh? I can't finish it. I can't finish everyone. So you guys see you again in the next class. Thank you so much. I will see you. I see you Zulu from Bramfontein, and then I see Gracia from Sunnyside. Thank you. See you again for when you are preparing for paper 2. See you again. It has been M.SAIDI. I'm very happy that the class went very well, and see you again in the next class.